Mobile and embedded device security. In this lesson, we're going to talk about securing our mobile devices and our embedded devices. So let's go ahead and get started. As our usage and dependency on mobile devices continue to grow in our everyday personal and professional lives, the attacks, vulnerabilities, and threats also continue to grow. In this lesson, we'll focus on built in security utilities that are common in today's mobile devices. First, we're going to look at screen locks. Ways to lock our mobile devices and unlock our mobile devices. There is a variety of ways that we could add a layer of security, or manufacturers have added a layer of security to lock and unlock our devices. So let's start by talking about facial recognition. Facial recognition is a biometric type of lock. Users the face to unlock the device. Um, Less secure than a fingerprint because there's a high number of false positives. There's a lot of people that may look like you or look similar, and because of that, they will be able to unlock that device. Now, on Apple devices, this is called Face ID. The fingerprint lock and pin codes and and swipes. Pin codes are 4 to 6 digit pins to unlock a device. This is one of the most commonly used. Could be alphanumeric also. A fingerprint, one of the largest types, uses the fingerprint to unlock a device. You see this a lot on their mobile phones. A pattern to unlock your device by drawing a certain pattern. Now, it's important to clean your device because smudges can leave a trace of that pattern, and attackers or malicious individuals could see that pattern on your screen and try to mimic that on your device. So, you want to make sure you keep that clean when you do have a pattern code that you're using to access the device. Now, the swipe is not necessarily a security protection. It's used more for preventing pocket calls and things like that. So that's not really a security method of locking the phone or unlocking the device. Failed login attempts and restrictions. So there's another layer of security here that we have on our mobile devices, that if we have a failed number of attempts, it'll either lock or wipe out the device. If the phone is lost or stolen, that's what we want to do. So failed login attempt repercussions. It'll wipe the device or factory reset the device. Either one of those. Now, recommended for devices with sensitive information. Sometimes this is implemented along with a mobile management device or MDM system. Personal devices shouldn't really use something to that drastic of a measure. Um, Personal devices should not have that enabled unless you can confirm that all of your software and information is backed up. Now, Apple has a cooling off session with increasing duration. Now, you cannot lock the device until connected to the last device that synced with that device. Android has a similar approach, but it factory reset after 10 attempts. Now, sometimes our mobile devices are lost and stolen. Whether personal or for business, data is in the wrong hands. It could be, of course, devastating. It could be a bit inconvenient. Sometimes it could lead to lawsuits because if it's an organization device, improper usage of the data. Apple provides Find My Phone, works with the iCloud for multiple devices. You can remotely locate, lock, play a sound, display a message, or even wipe the device clean if need be. And Google provides the same. It's called Find My Device. Same functions as the Apple, but it also includes a ring. You can ring the phone for up to 5 minutes. It also can display the SSID that the device is connected to on a Wi-Fi network. It also displays the phone battery level and when the device was last used. Remote backup applications. Our mobile devices can be backed up to a remote location, whether that be to a computer or the cloud. Mobile devices can synchronize with the cloud constantly in the background, always saving an up to date version of itself. Apple devices automatically back up to the iTunes or the iCloud. Requires a Wi-Fi or cell connection, and all of your important information, pictures, apps, etc., are synchronized. So if anything happens with your phone, you can always get a copy of that information from that iCloud repository. Now, Android devices have something similar. Android devices automatically synchronize with Google Drive. Requires, of course, a Google account to set up. Synchronizes Wi Fi passwords, phone logs, app settings, contacts, messages, pictures, and other information. Now, there's also third party backup apps available as well to help you back up your mobile device. Another utility that you should strongly consider for your mobile device is antivirus and anti malware. Mobile devices can contract viruses or malware through malicious apps. Now, malware installed on a mobile device will spam with ads on that device. Some malware will expose your personal information, and viruses will use emails to send copies of itself to your contact list. You don't want that happening. Antivirus and anti malware are recommended to be installed on your mobile devices, and all vendors have apps either paid or free for antivirus and anti malware software. Updates. You'll hear a lot about that throughout this course because that is one of the most important things that you can do for a mobile device is keep your device updated. Manufacturers will normally inform you of new updates that's coming out for your device. Now, sometimes these notifications are missed or you may not see those. End users should get into the habit of checking for these on a monthly basis or even sometimes shorter windows. Check for updates for your device. Not keeping a device updated, it causes that mobile device to become an environment where it's more susceptible to vulnerabilities, prone to weaknesses and bugs, and also the device can become unstable or vulnerable if it's gone too long without an update. Firewalls, another utility. Mobile devices can have the same vulnerabilities as laptop and desktops. Mobile devices can be exploited like other systems, especially when they're on a network. They have an IP address, which has network connections. It can be either through Wi-Fi or even Bluetooth. The same, they can be exploited like a another type of host on the network. Both inbound and outbound connections should be monitored. Many third party firewall apps available from Apple App Store and Google Play. Policies and procedures. When you come into businesses, organizations, there's going to be a lot of policies and procedures around your mobile devices. You know, we have the BYOD or bring your own device, which is has great momentum in the organizations and the workplaces nowadays versus corporately owned or issued mobile devices. Um, Employees supplying their own devices, of course, is BYOD. Company owner issued devices will be corporate owned, issuing to employees that may travel or use it out in the field. Now, both have policies governing the size and type, the operating system, the antivirus, and patches usage about those mobile devices, how you can use, what stipulates the usage and the kind of usage on those mobile devices, whether it's corporate issue devices or your own personal device. Organizations use mobile device management systems to enforce those requirements. They have remote security applications, restrictions. They can restrict as far as of course, the type of software that's installed on there, restrictions to certain levels of data. It protects the device along those lines. Different type of restrictions and enforcements. Now, when you have corporate or company-owned devices, a paramount concern is for privacy. Basically, it's acceptable to track those devices because it is a company-owned device, but employees must be made aware that that equipment is tracked and it is a corporate-owned device, and that can monitor that device usage as well. So that's of one of those paramount concerns that they should be aware of. The Internet of Things. We've heard a lot of about the Internet of Things, growing number of internet-aware devices. These control a many number of different appliances and utilities. They control our lights, thermostats, cameras, doorbell notifications, etc. Now, hardware vendors use off the shelf components for these Internet of Thing devices. Sometimes they never get updated. It's not all vendors, not all devices, but sometimes there is a big number that never get updated. Sometimes they have the default credentials that never get changed. We have the thing called of ease of use versus security. And that's where that balance is always trying to be walked ease of use versus security. Attacks such as the denial of service or dynamic denial of service, malware, privilege escalation, brute force. There's a lot of different attacks that can attack IoT devices. There's a lot of third-party solutions available to help mitigate those type of attacks as well. One thing as a network administrator, which you may want to do as far as the Internet of Thing devices, is also put layer of security on, additional layers of security. All right. In this lesson, we talked about ways to protect our mobile devices. We talked about different screen locks and different parameters around those. We also talked about policies and firewalls, anti virus and anti malware, and the Internet of Things and the vulnerabilities and attacks that can happen there. I want to thank you for joining me for this lesson, and I will see you in the next lesson.